Hey, Bastish B here for 64K and welcome to another episode of New Retro. If you've never watched this show before, I take a new game for an old system and then we look at the inspiration behind that game. A lot of the new released games for older systems are inspired by classic video games, and that's what this show is all about. So today we got two games from the classic 8-bit computer generation. And welcome back. So let's first check out the game that inspired Rocket Smash EX, JETPAC. JETPAC was the first game ever released by the then fledgling company Ultimate Play the Game in 1983. The company was formed by the brothers Tim and Chris Stamper in 1982, and JETPAC was written by Chris and the graphics were programmed by Tim, and it was released on the ZX Spectrum initially, before being ported to the MSX, BBC Micro, and VIC-20. The game was a massive success, selling over 300,000 units just on its initial release only. The simplicity of the gameplay and the very arcade nature of how it played made it a runaway success. It's no coincidence about the arcade feel of the game, as the Stamper brothers were ex-arcade developers themselves, and the influence definitely got infused into the gameplay of JETPAC. The game has you trying to reassemble your spaceship on every level, as well as fuel it up so you can escape. All the while you're getting attacked by aliens or natural disasters as you try to escape the planet. It's simple, but addictive. The game ended up spawning two sequels, Lunar Jetman in 1985 and Solar Jetman in 1990 on the NES. The Stamper brothers eventually sold Ultimate in 1985 to US Gold, who continued the label until 1988. Rare, the new name of Ultimate, bought the catalog back in 1988 and switched the focus to console gaming, and Solar Jetman was released on the NES instead of the 8-bit computers that made the series so popular. You can check out the Rare Replay collection on Xbox One if you want an easy way to play JETPAC if you don't have access to the original hardware. And now let's look at Rocket Smash EX, the game that was inspired by JETPAC. Rocket Smash EX was released in 2015 on the Commodore 64 by RGCD. To say this game is inspired by JETPAC would be an understatement, but seeing as the C64 never got an official port of JETPAC itself, you can think of this as the version for the system. The game was originally released in 2013 as part of RGCD's 16KB game development competition, and you can think of the EX as meaning this is the special upgraded edition of the game. The basics of the gameplay are exactly the same as JETPAC. Reassemble your spaceship, refuel it, and escape the area. After a few stages, you'll escape the planet and move on to the next one. The first planet is easy, but after that things really start to pick up difficulty-wise, and the game does feature 3 difficulty settings, so you'll never feel like the odds are completely hopeless. The game also has an arcade mode and a story mode. The arcade mode is exactly like you'd expect, it's just level after level of relentless intense action. But the story mode adds cutscenes after every few levels which show your guy trying to make it back to Earth, but either by his incompetence or really bad luck, he keeps on blowing up the ship, which adds a good dose of humor to the fun of this little game. The further you get, the more hazards appear, meteors, aliens, and everything is out to kill you. And unlike JETPAC, you also have an oxygen meter, which is ticking down all the time, which is basically making you get on with the game and keep the pace at the max, which I have no problem with in this style of game. Sol Cross, who also worked on Galencia, did the music and graphics, which are both really good, nice and colorful. I really like the loader music for this game, and the sound effects do a good job as well, and even feature some digitized speech. There's a really nice physical cart version of the game you can get from RGCD, as well as a digital version. And the Psytronik website also has a tape and disc versions, so you're covered on every format for this excellent arcade type game that'll definitely have you saying, just one more go, over and over. Game over. Okay, so you're wondering how do I play these? Obviously I would always suggest playing the original versions on the original hardware. Obviously that's not available to everybody. If you want to play JETPAC though, you can play it on the Rare Replay collection on Xbox One with a ton of other cool games from Ultimate and Rare. Excellent compilation by any means. Also you can play it on the JETPAC Refueled game, which is backwards compatible now with the Xbox One. JETPAC is in that game, so that's another easy way to play it. And as for Rocket Smash EX, you can go to the Psytronik website. You can get a digital download which you can play through your VICE emulator or whatever Commodore 64 emulator you choose. If you want to get original versions, they have it on tape, disc and cartridge, which is freaking awesome. I'll leave a link in the video description to take you straight to the Psytronik website. And thanks for joining me, BastishB at 64K. I hope you had a good time. If you could like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.